conference from among their number would be allowed to address the conference. I would now like to invite the NGO spokesperson, Mr. Jonathan Granoff of the Global Security Institute, to do so. Mr. Granoff, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Distinguished delegates, on behalf of non-governmental organizations the world over, we appreciate very much the opportunity to contribute our views. We would first like to congratulate Dr. Lassina Zerbo, the new Executive Secretary of the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty Organization, and pledge our support to ensure the success of his leadership. We remain grateful for the outstanding work of his predecessor, Ambassador Tibor Tah. The Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty has successfully established a global norm against all nuclear weapons test explosions that all but 3 states, India, Pakistan, and North Korea, have respected since 1996. The treaty is a cornerstone of 21st century international security. Nuclear testing is a dangerous and unnecessary vestige of the past. The treaty can non-proliferation of nuclear weapons, to cease the nuclear arms race at an early date, and to pursue nuclear disarmament. The test ban serves to reinforce the non-proliferation system. It strengthens the pursuit of international order based on the rule of law. It is time to act. Until the remaining 8 Annex II outlier states ratify the treaty, entry into force will be delayed, and the door to the renewal of nuclear testing will remain ajar. This conference must help produce a serious diplomatic action plan for getting the remaining holdout states on board. This conference must be a catalyst to move the leaders and legislators in the United States and China to make good on their past Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty promises. All Annex II states must provide leadership to advance entry into force. India and Pakistan could advance the cause of nuclear disarmament and substantially ease regional tensions by converting their unilateral test moratoria into legally binding commitments to end nuclear testing through the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. Egypt, Iran, and Saudi Arabia would reduce nuclear weapons-related security concerns in the region. It would also help create the conditions necessary for the realization of a Middle East zone free of nuclear and other weapons of mass destruction. We strongly urge the states involved in the non-aligned movement to play a leadership role in urging key states to ratify the CTBT. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea's 3rd nuclear test, conducted earlier this year, is an affront to the international community and a further threat to peace and security in Asia. A halt to further testing by the DPRK is essential. Over 2,000 nuclear test explosions, over 500 above ground, have caused several 100,000 additional cancer fatalities. We call on the UN Secretary General to organize a conference to help mobilize resources for the remediation of contamination and nuclear rehabilitation of populations most seriously affected by nuclear testing. We call your attention to the ongoing activities of the world's nuclear armed states to perpetuate and improve their nuclear weapons capabilities, which consumes tens of billions of dollars each year. The community of Latin American and Caribbean states said in August of 2013, quote, "The enhancement of existing nuclear weapons and the development of new types of nuclear weapons is inconsistent with the obligation of complete nuclear disarmament and contrary to the object and purposes of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty." We agree. We demand states armed with nuclear weapons refrain from pursuing new types of nuclear weapons or modifying weapons in ways that create new military capabilities. We urge all of the states armed with nuclear weapons to adopt clear, no new nuclear weapons policies and to report on those policies at the next Article 14 conference. We call upon the UN Security Council to discuss and outline the penalties that could be imposed in the event that any state breaks the taboo against testing. It would be useful for the Security Council to convene and consider further steps to encourage implementation and compliance with the action plan outlined in Security Council Resolution 1887 that, quote, calls upon all states to refrain from conducting a nuclear test explosion and to sign and ratify the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. We applaud the initiative of the Executive Secretary Zerbo to convene a highly qualified eminent persons group to help advance entry into force. We urge this group to develop a practical strategy for prodding key holdout states to accelerate their ratification timetables. We respectfully urge each of the states present here to consider these recommendations, and we look forward to working with you on our common goal of prompt Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty entry into force. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank Mr. Granoff of the Global Security Institute for the statements on behalf of the NGO attending the conference. We highly appreciate the contributions of the NGO in assisting the global effort to promote the objectives of the treaty and to facilitate its entry into force. This concludes the considerations of Agenda Item 10. We can now move to the adoptions of the report.